Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone, welcome to this webinar for optical gas imaging or OGI. Thank you for taking some time to join us today. Through the webinar, if you have any questions, please type them into the chat box in your Teams chat box, and we will have time to answer the questions at the end of this webinar. Please note that the webinar will be recorded and later available on our YouTube channel. So before we start with the content of the webinar, let me introduce myself. My name is Sarah Al-Maziadi. I am the Head of Solution Development and Delivery at ESBAAR. Yes, that's me. So in this webinar, we will start with the importance of gas leak detection and how to choose the proper sensor considering the spectral range. Then we will look into the sensor and then we will look into the sensor we are currently using at ESBAAR. Also, we'll talk about the drone we are using with the OGI camera and the advantage of using a drone in OGI inspections. Then we will go through 2 use cases, including scope of work and findings and some videos from these findings. And then we'll speak about also our next steps for OGI inspection. The last slides will be about ESBAAR roadmaps and ESBAAR experience. It will be presented by Hussein Al-Lawati, Sales Executive from ESBAAR. So first, of course, natural gas is composed mostly of methane. So we are like referring to methane when we refer to gas leak detection. Methane is like powerful greenhouse gas. The global warming potential of methane is 80 times actually greater than the carbon dioxide or CO2. So if we are reducing methane, we will reduce the global temperature. And according to European Commission's methane strategy, reducing 50% of global methane emission over the next 30 years could reduce global warming with 0.18 degrees Celsius, which will be like a great thing to achieve. Also, data from International Energy Agency shows that only in 2019, the oil and gas industry emitted approximately 82 million metric tons of methane. This equals approximately 19 billion of lost in revenue. And also in terms of health, the methane leaks also comes with air toxins like benzene and hydrogen and other gases. The impact of these gases can lead to start from irritation of eyes, nose, and to fatal illness like cancer. And this is why we need to consider gas leak detection. The other thing I want to speak is the spectral range, or considering the spectral range when you are in the process of choosing your OGI camera. This is very important to consider because you don't want to conclude that you don't have like leaks, but actually your camera is not seeing the gas you are searching for or you are interested to see. So, for example, we are considering methane. We want to detect methane. So when we look to the spectral range, you will see terms like long wave infrared on the right, which is like, for example, used in thermal imaging. And also we have on the left, the short wave. You can see it as SWIR. It's stand for short wave length infrared. It's also like similar to the visible light. So the photons is reflected from the object. This one is used for high resolution imaging. But in case of OGI, you need to go, usually you need the mid-wave infrared, which is here in the middle. And it ranges from 3,000 to 5,000 nanometer. Also, you need to consider that the OGI camera will only give you like limited wavelength. So there is no like one camera that will cover the 3,000 to 5,000 nanometer wavelength. So for the first step you do in choosing the correct OGI camera is to know what's the gas you are looking for, what's the spectral range you are looking for. In ESBAAR, we choose this sensor. It's a mid-wave, of course, infrared camera. As you can see, the spectral response is 3020 to 3420. If we go back, so as you see, it's only will cover some ring on the at the beginning of mid-wave infrared, but it is good enough for us to detect the gases that we want. Actually, it will detect 20 hydrocarbon gases, different 20 hydrocarbon gases, including methane, propane, and other gases. And it's considered one of the most advanced camera on the market. One of the characters that give it this advantage, that as you can see, it's written as a hot mid-wave infrared detector, which means it operates significantly in warmer temperature, like more than the traditional mid-wave infrared. That means less strain on the cooling mechanism, and of course, faster cooler down time and longer overall core life, because on this camera there is a cooling mechanism, and you don't want to lose it, because otherwise you will lose your camera. So this is very advanced one. And also we have a high resolution 640 into 512 with a 15 micrometer pixel pitch, and pixel pitch is usually the distance between pixels, and less like smaller pixel pitch. That means your camera is better. It can detect the leaks from 100 meters away, and of course it have 4 times digital zoom. And we will see some good examples of the videos from this camera on our use cases. Yes, and also it's weighing only 542 grams, which is good as a payload for a drone. Yep. And this is the detectable gas by that camera. As I said, it's 20 gases, and mostly we focus on methane, and of course that's included here. Next, this is the drone that usually our OGI mounted on. It's one of the best also on the market. It's the DJI M300. It's capable of 55 minutes of flight, and it's also have good wind resistance of 15 meters per second. It operates in high temperature up to 50 degrees, and it can fly to 15 kilometers like away from the pilot. It having some safety mode like return home technology. Also, it have high position accuracy with the dual RTK system. Yes, and why we are using this drone? Why we are using drones in OGI? Of course, the pilot will be sitting on one place, and he can like inspect different assets. And of course, this is is not like the handheld. Compared to handheld, it will be like less time, because otherwise your inspector will be moving around the assets. The other thing is you don't need to like expose your inspectors to danger of being like close to gas leaks. The pilot will operate the drone from safe distance, so it's actually a safer technology. And less time and more safety, like it will be always cost reduction for everyone. Yeah, and also increasing flexibility. That means you don't do any. You can inspect any area, any asset without like waiting to shut down or any other like procedure. You can come, and because you will inspect the leaks 100 meters away, you can do it like that or closer. So yeah, this is the use case where we use the OGI camera. It was about the scope of work of this use case was inspection potential gas leaks in oil and gas multiple fields. In this use case, the team like inspected different assets, live wells, abandoned wells, waste yards, BVC stations, STB station, and pipelines. It was for 15 days. And of course, we have a methodology that's followed by our team for each OGI inspection job or project. So starting the step one is conducting risk assessment. The risk assessment process include a site visit to record any potential hazards on site, of course, as a part of the pre-flight planning. And it is, of course, important to, because after all the flying the drone, it will be manually. So this is a very important step. The second step is flight path planning. Of course, the SPECTRAL operation team will be preparing the flight plan for the drone for all the proposed location or assets. Of course, this flight plan will include like parameters such as flying altitude, for the takeoff point, coordinates, and home points, and all that will be like according to like the technical requirements from the scope of work, of course. The third step is flying the drone. Of course, once the flight plan is approved, the team then start the operation and collecting manually the asset videos. Of course, it will be high definition video. Of course, it will be from different angles and distance. And one note that this operation will be, of course, visual line of sight, or what we refer to it as a velos. In case of any leak detected, SPECTRAL operation team on site will immediately report it for any response or maintenance. And then later on, the captured data will be analyzed by our remote sensing team here in the office, and a full detailed report will be, of course, submitted to the client. And in this use case, we have 10 total leaks. It was 5 on wells and 1 on waste yard, 2 in BVS station, and 2 in pipeline. And I'm going to show you some videos for these leaks. As you can see here, the leak. And this one is very actually small, but I hope like you are able to see it. And it's like one of the advantage of this camera that even in some scenarios, in some cases, the handheld camera could not see such small leaks. This is another also another leaks found on the same use case, and this one also here you can see it's a very small leak but detectable by our OGI camera. Another example here is obvious, and the other leak you can see it here. And I think we can move now to the second use case. This use case only for flare station, live flare station, and it was like 2 days job. It was 1 leak found on this use case. So yes, this is now the way that we like provide our service in OGI inspection, but we have actually for future few steps. Now the detection is having only like a detection. There is no concentration rate is given, but inshallah soon we will like provide the service of methane concentration. So you will get the concentration and the location exactly. Also, we will provide, inshallah, also soon air quality monitoring sensor. This will be good, like to give you a heat map for a whole area. Yes, I think that's all from my side. Now let's like move to Hussein for a brief about ESBAAR.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah, for the presentation. We've got quite some interesting questions. We'll take the answer for that after I present these slides. As you may know, ESBAAR was established in 2017 with the 3 employees focused on drone services and AI solutions. Since that time, we've been expanding and developing our team For example, in 2020, we had more than 75 employees and more than 25 drones, and we have contracts with multiple oil and gas companies. This year, we call it the growth year. We have roughly by now around 130 employees. We are presenting, as we established an AI teams last year, we are presenting many AI technologies like rig AI, digital twinning, and also just a couple of weeks ago, we introduced the BVLOS operation for oil and gas industry for the first time in Oman. The milestones that we can focus on along our journey. We were the first local company to provide live flare inspection. We expanded our operation with PDO from survey and mapping to asset integrity and asset inspection. We introduced OGI services via drone, like the topic we're discussing today. We entered the new markets such as mining sector. Also this year we got a new contract with the Shell Development Oman in survey and mapping. And also we've done first of kind projects in MENA region for internal water pipeline inspection and internal tank inspection. Okay.
Thank you, Hussein.
I think let's continue. I think there's a couple of slides. Yeah. Go back to the experience. Great. So as I mentioned, we have two contracts with PDO right now for survey and mapping, and also another contract for remote sensing, where we provide all the drone services along with AI methodologies. We have another contract with CCD and another contract with Shell Development Oman, as I previously mentioned. These are some of the clients that we worked with. The asset we inspected, the total number of flights that we have, I think we exceeded more than 13,000 number of flights since 2017. The data of the area we surveyed roughly around 10 terabyte, and the total data analyzed around 15 terabytes. All right, thank you. Let's answer the questions. I think Sarah will take the lead on this.
Yes, thank you, Hussein. So thank you again for joining us on this presentation. I hope it was informative for you. And as we said, it will be uploaded in our YouTube channel. And thank you again. Let's hope to see you again on next webinars. Thank you.